Welcome back to the video tutorials. In commerce, we will be starting with types of plans. Now, types of plans can be of two types: single use and standing plans. Now, as the name suggests, single use plans are plans which are used only once, and again they have to be formulated for a particular purpose. And the examples of single use plans are like programs and budget. Whereas standing plans are plans which are used again and again, and they are like objective, strategy, policy, procedure, rule and method. These are the examples of standing plans. So they are also known as repeat use plans. So they can be repeated again and again. So first let us look at the single use plans about programs. What is a program? A program is an in-depth statement that outlines a company's policies, rules, objectives, procedures, etc. These programs are important in the implementation of all types of plans. They create a link between the company's objectives, procedures, and rules. For example, training programs, advertising programs, etc. Actually, a program serves as a useful guide for the day-to-day operations in any organization. And programs are to be reviewed again and again depending on the circumstances, because the business environment is constantly changing. Therefore, the programs are to be reviewed again and again. And now, what is a budget? A budget is a statement of the expected results the management is expecting from the company. Actually, it is a quantitative statement. So they are expressed in numerical terms. So there are several types of budgets. For example, you have a master budget. A master budget, actually it is a summary budget incorporating all the types of functional budgets. And then you have the functional budgets. In functional budgets, it is also known as the operating budget. We have the sales budget, the cash budget, the production budget, materials budget, overheads budget, and so on. So all these budgets, they refer to, like sales budget refers to the expected sales. Then cash budget refers to the expected cash inflows and cash outflows in the organization. Then production budget refers to the production, the amount of production that may be done. Then materials budget, how much materials will be used in the production. Overheads budget means indirect costs. So overhead budget gives you an idea of all the indirect expenses that will be incurred to produce the thing that you are producing. And then we have capital budget and revenue budget. Capital budget is budget for capital expenditure, any expenditure which gives you benefit for more than one accounting year, that is a capital budget. And revenue budget is budget used for doing budgeting for those expenditures which give a benefit for less than one accounting year. For example, your materials budget, raw materials budget. Now, if you look at the standing plans are for long-term use. They are, as I told you, they are used again and again. So we have objectives, strategy, policy, procedure, rule and method. So first let us look at objectives. What are objectives? These are the ends towards which the activities are directed. Like for example, you must be having an objective in your life. So what is the end that you wish to achieve or wish to go? So the first and foremost step of the planning process is setting organizational objectives. For example, you may set up an organizational objective of increasing your sales volume. So, organizational goals give you your some basic functions of organizational goals are that they provide guidance and direction, they facilitate planning, they motivate and inspire the employees, and they help the organization to evaluate and control the performance. Now let us look at the importance of objectives. The first importance of objective is legitimacy. Objectives actually give you the basic mission of the organization. Therefore, they help to justify its existence and provide a unique identity to it. Organizational objectives give purpose and meaning to the organization. Then second is, it gives a sense of direction, that where you are going, where do you want to go. These objectives serve as reference points for the efforts of the entire organization. Organizational objectives are the ends towards which all organizational action is directed. These objectives define the destination, you can say, of the organization. Actually, if you define it clearly, objectives are analogous to a star which can be used for navigation by ships and aeroplane. So, without having a sense of direction, no organization can go in the correct direction. Next is unified planning. Objectives are prerequisites in determining effective policies, strategies, procedures, rules and methods. Organizational objectives are the key to some planning because all plans are formulated to achieve the objectives. Clear-cut objectives make for consistency in your decision making. Next is source of motivation. Effective objectives can be good motivators because they make it easier for a member to relate the accomplishment of his personal goals to the work of the organization. He knows what is expected of him and is therefore and thereby more secure in what he needs to be successful in the organization. So it is a source of motivation. When a person knows about the objectives, he can easily ascertain whether he is able to perform that particular objective or not. Means for coordination. Now, there in any organization there are different departments, and these different departments are working in their own manner, and their efforts are to be coordinated to achieve the organizational goal. And only when the objectives are clear, then every department will work to achieve that organizational goal. So there will be a lot of coordination. There will be coordinated efforts from all the departments. So it is a means of coordination. Then basis of control. Effective objectives provide yardsticks for measuring and evaluating the performance of the organization. They provide objective and rational basis for settling disputes regarding the performance of the individuals and groups in the organization. Thus, they give you a basis for the control. Organizational goals permeate the entire management process by providing the foundations for proper planning, directing, motivation and control. Now, let us look at the essentials of objectives. Why objectives are essential? Some sound objectives must satisfy the following requirements. Number one, the objectives must be clear and specific. That is very important. Objectives should specify the results which are to be achieved rather than the activities to be performed. So you get to know the end result. Objectives should, as far as possible, be measurable. Until unless it is measurable, you cannot ascertain whether you are able to achieve the objectives or not. And they must be time bound. That means a particular time frame should be given in order to achieve these objectives, so that a person knows that within what time he has to achieve these objectives. Objectives in different areas must be supportive of one another. Like you have different areas, like you have the finance, you have production, so different areas are there. But the objective should be such that they should support each other. Objectives must be challenging, but they should be achievable also at the same time. If you cannot achieve them, then the motivation level or the morale of the employees will go down. So the objectives should be such that they are achievable, but at the same time it should offer challenges to people who really like to take challenges. Then the objectives must be acceptable to the people. It is not that you give a particular objective and it is not acceptable to the people who are working in the organization, then it doesn't serve the purpose. Objectives should be laid down in all the key result areas, like we call them KRA, key result areas. Performance in these areas is vital for the success of the organization. And Peter Drucker has identified 8 key result areas. Number 1, market standing. What is the market standing of the organization? Number 2, innovation. Doing new things, devising new methods. That is innovation. Innovation is very essential for the success of any organization because the business environment is constantly changing. And it is very essential that every business organization should be innovative. Productivity, then physical and financial resources. Physical resources you can understand, land, labor, okay, your plant and machinery, furniture, these are physical resources, whereas financial resources refer to capital, money. Then manager performance. The performance of the management is very essential. It is the management which takes decisions, and they are the ones who can motivate the employees, and they are the ones who can also destroy the motivation level of the employees. Then development of the management, performance of the workers and their attitudes, profitability, how much profit the organization is earning. That is the measuring yardstick of ascertaining the effectiveness of the organization. When profits are high, we can say the organization is doing well. When the profits become less, we say the effectiveness of the organization is decreasing. Public and social responsibility. The last key result area is public and social responsibility. Now that is very, very essential. In the modern world, until unless an organization does something for the society, until unless an organization does something for the public at large, the organization cannot succeed. The organization cannot stay for long. The organization cannot prosper. Every organization should do something for the society. Like, for example, a simple thing may be controlling pollution. You're giving incentives to people who are backward, and so on. And then one more essential is objectives should provide some flexibility. Without flexibility, no objective can be successful. As we have seen earlier, that business environment is constantly changing. Business policies have to be changed accordingly. The objectives have to be changed accordingly.
there may be a change in the government policies, there may be a change in the tax laws, there may be a change in the way things are being produced, there may be a change in the availability of raw materials. Many things may change. So since a business environment is not static, it is dynamic, therefore there should be some amount of flexibility in our objectives so that they can be easily adjusted or changed according to the changing environment, so that the procedures, the objectives can be adjusted according to the changing environment. In the next video, we will be looking at the other types of your long-term plans or standing plans.